Okay, I wanted to do a video on the different Glock finishes. From what I've seen, there's not much information out there on this. A lot of people have speculation and different stories about how many finishes are and if there are different finishes and why Glock did this or why Glock did that. And I just want to do this video to kind of clarify and to show what I know about it. I do know that there are at least 3 different finishes, and I have 3 in my possession right now. And one of them is their original finish right here that basically Glock has been made famous for. And one of the ways you can tell it's that finish is it does have kind of a shine to the surface. A lot of people say it looks like a non-stick coated pan, like a Teflon finish, and it really does. It looks like that. And it's kind of got a really deep, dark black finish to it. The other finish would be very similar to it, and this is a USA made finish here, and it has that Teflon look to it. It's perhaps about the same in finish and look. Everything looks pretty similar. The only real difference I can see between the two is that the USA finish here has more of a gray hue to it. It's not as deep and black as this one. So when you haven't made it up to the frame, this one really matches the frame well. This one has a little bit grayer look to it. Doesn't quite go with the frame as well. And then the third and probably least like finish is this one here. You see it on most the new Glocks. Gen 4 and Gen 3 is coming out with this finish. And basically what it is kind of a flat finish. It doesn't have as much shine. It is a little bit smoother to the touch. The other ones have a little, almost like a slight texture to the touch. But other than that, people don't really like this finish because it scratches really easily. The surface scratches, and it basically shows wear really quickly. This one here, I mean, it's probably one of the newer out of the 3 here, but it definitely has more wear on it. Has more scuffs and scratches and things that are gonna, make people that care about that kind of thing upset. Just the general wear and look of it. So out of these 3 finishes, I do know that the original finish here they called the Tenifer finish, and from what I've heard, the reason they quit making finishes with Tenifer is because the process, and during the process, I believe it produced like cyanide gas or something like that in the process, where basically when it moved over to the States, over the United States, they had to use a different process. So rather than just use the United States ones with a different process and the ones over there in Austria with their own process, they decided to kind of just make it all one process, and this is kind of the result. But it is interesting that most of the USA ones I've seen are actually this one here, which is a little different. I had a Glock 17 as well, and it had the same finish on it that this USA 19 has. So it is kind of interesting that there's so many different finishes. Out of the 3, I think that the original finish is definitely the nicest. It holds up very well to any type of surface scratches or damage. But all that being said, every single one of these finishes has no issue with rust or anything like that. So they're all using a nitride style process, basically like the Tenifer is kind of like a melanite. Basically Tenifer, I think, is more of a proprietary name, and the process is pretty similar but not exactly the same. So they're all using a similar process to permeate the metal and make it impervious to rust. But the actual top surface, top coat finish, I think is much nicer on these 2 here. I think that whatever they were doing here in the US to make it look a lot like the other one and hold up a lot like the original finish, they should do. I really like that finish. I wish it was a little darker like the original finish, but other than that, I think it's really nice. But the latest finish here, I mean, if you like that kind of battle-born look and that, worn-in look, then this finish is kind of neat because it shows that use. It shows that, those scratches and everything like that, and fingerprints and scuffs, and you're just looking at them, you can see these ones look kind of pretty. This one just looks, kind of used and tough, and, but this has probably, less loose use on it than these 2. Definitely less than this one. This was a cop trade-in here. And I think even the grip shows that. If you look, there's a lot of kind of missing chunks out of the RTF finish and stuff. It was open carried police trade-in. But yeah, so those are kind of the finishes that I've seen. Maybe give you a little more information on what finishes are out there, and let you see kind of how they look and compare. I really wish they would just start doing this one because I think that is really nice on the finish. I'm not real happy with that. Now, personally, I know it doesn't really matter per se, but at the same time, you know, if you have a Glock and you know they're durable, you know they're long lasting, it's nice to have a finish that's going to match the Glock's durability. And I think that these two finishes really reflect Glock and what the Glock's all about. But yeah, that's all I have. I mean, just want to show you those 3 different finishes. Supposedly this is the finish that everything's being done in right now. I'm not sure where this finish comes in and why we have a different finish here between these two. This one's made in Austria and this one's made in the USA. So far when I've seen in USA, I've seen this finish. Not to say that the USA don't come in this finish as well, because I think I have seen them in this finish with USA badging. So it's still kind of confusing at this point, but these are 3 different finishes that exist and their characteristics. So hopefully that's giving you a little more information out there, because there's not much out there right now.